Hello and welcome to a new Nations video. I was stunned because I was looking on Discord a few minutes ago and I was surprised on how many people did not know how to easily defend Russia. They're saying like it's impossible to defend Russia when it's honestly decently easy. It's obviously, you know, it's not the easiest, but you can do it with enough skill. You just have to use a very underrated mechanic and also a decent strategy. I honestly probably should have grabbed one of my friends for this to demonstrate, but yeah, I probably should have done that pre-recording, but I could just pause the video. But first, we gotta set up our defense. How this is going to work. So, as soon as you start playing any country, this isn't even applied to Russia, you should always go to your doctrines ASAP, click on the flag, then click military and doctrine, and click specialization as soon as you start. Then you're gonna put in a shit ton of troops, which I'm surprised I could even afford with a very early game budget as Russia. But hey, I ain't complaining. So, boom, just like that, you should have a few million man. I'm bad at talking. But yeah, just like that, you should have a few million men. Say 1.8 mil. That will be fine for this. Obviously, if you're being threatened, you'll obviously be threatened later on, so you'll be even better equipped than I am. So, you'll start out as political. You want to click terrain. You'll notice that there's some terrain that makes Russia easier to defend. You're going to use these, the Uralic mountains, but I can't talk. These are called the Uralic mountains right here, I think. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's just the Ural mountains. Whatever, it doesn't matter what these stupid ranges are called. It's the same thing that makes Switzerland, Romania, Norway, and a lot of other places very easy to defend. Like, I know I was pissing off an India player like a few minutes ago before recording this, as in Nepal. And I was pissing them off and stuff because I had fortifications on terrain with my specialized troops. If you didn't know what specialization does, it decreases how much manpower you gain, but in return, it automatically trains up your manpower quite a bit, as we see here, to make it a lot stronger. So, we're going to go to the terrain map. By the way, the terrain automatically ends at the border of Kazakhstan. And you're going to go down to this exact city. I'm not even going to try pronouncing that. I almost did. Now, of course, if this happened later on, you would hopefully have some other territory and more man, which will mean, you know, easier defense. So this strategy works a lot better when it's actually later on. So you're going to send your troops down. Now, if you didn't know, there's a second mechanic in this game called entrenchment. Right now, as we're moving, we have no entrenchment bonuses that we see. It's just the regular 1 times. Here's how it works. Entrenchment in normal terrain, which is the white. If we go here, this is the white is normal terrain. It's just it's 1.25 times. By the way, you can entrench by keeping your men still. In hilly terrain, it's 1.75 times. In semi-mountainous, which is what the Uralics are, it's 2.75 times. And in mountains, it's an insane 4 times. You're both. By the way, this works for both defense and offense. If you look, see, combat modifier, terrain. Wait, I gotta quickly go put this up just a tiny bit. Now if we go halt, like this, and as we see, it's just rapidly going up. At least I think it's 2.75 times from semi-mountainous. I think they did nerf terrain a bit, like when update first released, actually. So I actually think it's like 2.5, not 2.75 anymore. It might still be 2.75. Yeah, 2.75. Knew it. Alright, so you're gonna hold shift and then just start click and you're going to terrain map, you're gonna hold shift and you're going to do this. You're gonna be clicking up the mountain range like this. Make sure to try to keep it near your cities, that way you don't suffer attrition. Because that's another very underrated thing that could easily screw you over. I don't think I clicked enough, honestly. Let me retry this. No, not enough. But like, yeah, you want to do it, and you want to move your mouse a little bit and click. Move your mouse like a tiny bit up and then click, and do that over and over again until you reach the top of the mountain range. This will make Russia easier to defend. And yeah, and then when you're done, you're going to click form line, and boom, a bunch of smaller divisions pop up. How many divisions are there? Shit! No! Shit! I gotta redo it. Rip. Because I made that mistake. That is one thing I really hate about it. That. Because, yeah, that happens sometimes. Alright, I gotta remake that. And then when I'm done doing this, I'll grab one of my friends to demonstrate how OP this actually is. By the way, if you fuck up like that, you gotta bring them all back and then you know, recombine them. Farm line. Now, defending your eastern area is a little bit more tricky. It's a smaller border area, so yeah. Also, here's the thing that a lot of people don't think of doing: retreats to an easier line to defend. Because what's an easier line to defend? Like just pretend terrain doesn't exist for this example. What is easier to defend? This shorter gap like this, or this longer gap like this? Exactly. So maybe you can, you know, maybe you could retreat from the Caucasus area, so that way you only have to defend this instead of defending this. So yeah, that's another thing you can do to make it easier to defend. Just like on the Finnish border, instead of having to defend this, you could just defend this. You do lose a small amount of land and population, but at the same time, it makes it 10 billion times easier to defend. That's another thing a lot of people don't think of. And I have been called hacker lots of times doing this strategy against like China players or like other stuff like that. Or USA players trying to be typical Americans and attack Russia, stuff like that. Now, deficit is a little bit of an issue, but again, you could just develop your cities a tiny bit. Or, again, you could just be taking over other countries and stuff. You know, and for the sake of preserving my money, I'm going to drop a small army and attack Latvia and Estonia. Be right back. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry. None of my friends are online right now, so I can't really display it, really, because if I did it and I took a single city from Russia, like as China or something, I wouldn't be able, I would take the city. Like, if I would take the city, then all of these troops would come running at that. You don't want that. You want to hold your ground and wait for the Chinese to attack you, for example, if it's China. Well, let's be real here. It's gonna be China, unless it's the USA attacking from Alaska. So yeah, it's kind. So yeah, I can't really give out example for the reasons I just said, but yeah. But like for added effect, you could also do this. You're a warning, by the way. Do that for added effect if you really wanted to. You can also you can use the same tactic here in the Caucasus, but it's even better because some of it is even in the mountains, which makes it even better. Okay, so I'm very sorry I couldn't display the strategy, but I promise it works, and I've used it so many times. Again, I've literally been accused as a fucking hacker from idiots because of the strat that I learned. I learned this like as soon as the terrain update came out because I remember when I was a much more of an idiot back then. The reason why I learned this was because I was in Russia and I was attacking this Georgia player. Now Georgia is, if you can see here, is completely wrapped in a terrain. Its entire country is encompassed by either mountainous or semi-mountainous. Uh, So they were completely kicking my ass using forts and artillery as well as like their tiny little manpower. And like I was so confused until I realized that, oh wait, terrain and artillery just came out. Wait. And yeah, I kind of figure out that strategy for myself based off what he did. Just wanted to explain how I learned that. So maybe you can apply similar thinking ideas in future updates. Anyway, this is gonna do it for this episode. If you found this at least a tiny bit helpful, like 1% helpful, I would appreciate if you liked. I don't really do very much resonation videos, although if I see people want more, I will make more. Anyway, peace.